Shaw here. It's the 5th, Friday the 5th of March, 2021. The guys wanted to do the rock pile again. We were shopping. We just went up, ran up to S&R, and something that hit me. I watched Filipina P. She's got a really good website on there, and you should check her out. She's got some good stuff on there. I mean, I enjoy watching her. And she said something on there that I've been saying for a while. I just never thought of saying it here. But if you go to any store, whether it be S&R or you go to S&M or anything, and if you see something and you say, boy, I'd like to have that, you better grab it, because you may never see it again. It happened with us with the ghee. I found the ghee at S&R. I've never seen it again. They don't have it. So that's a royal pain. So if I ever see it again, I'm going to grab whatever they got. I don't care if I fill a shopping cart full. You just can't get it. So we've been on a tight budget this month, but we were in the store getting ready to grocery shop, and my wife saw a big rack of shorts and nice shirts, and she said, "Hey, come look at these. I think these are your size." And I went inside the thing and tried them on, and they fit perfect. I used to wear a size 42 waist, but when I got the dengue and amoeba, I lost a lot of weight, and those were 38s, and I put them on. They fit great. They were $6 each, so I grabbed 3 pair of different color, because if I wouldn't have grabbed them, and those were the only 38s they had. All the rest of them were 30s, 32s, and 34s. No 36s at all. So I went ahead and I grabbed them, and then she saw a couple shirts. She said, "Oh, I like these on you." So I grabbed those. They were like $2.50 a piece, but real nice shirts. That when you come here to this country, you're going to find out some of the nicest clothes you're going to get are the Filipino stuff. Now, there was a fellow on here left a comment about finding long pants and stuff. No, I cannot go to a store and find my inseam length at all, and it's tough. Some 38s just don't fit me at all. I have to have 40. It depends on. I have to try everything on, because the sizes are kind of funny here. But we had a beautiful pair of dress pants made for me for cheap. It's like 1,000 peso. So you can get clothes made for you here, and there's tailors around every corner. You go to any of these markets, you're going to find somebody. We have a guy, a little old guy, and I had some of the pants I brought from the States. They don't fit anymore. I lost so much weight. He took them in, and you can't tell. It looks like that's the way they were made. He said, "You want me to cut it so that they're going to always be this size, or would you like to make them so that we could take this out, and then they'll be, you can let them back out again?" And I said, "I doubt I'll ever gain that weight back. I won't be 290 again. Just not going to happen. Not here with as much sweating as I do." But we got our shopping done. We went to the local market. We got a lot of fruit and veggies. I told my wife, buy it up. We have to go down to the house tomorrow, and we're going to go ahead and pay the extras. We're going to do all that stuff tomorrow, get that out of the way. We went to the S&R on a new road that they just opened, and that's one thing I have to say really nice about the Philippines, even though they're toll roads. And we got on a toll road, there was hardly anyone on there. We passed 2 or 3 cars in, 12 kilometers. Nobody was using it because everybody's complaining it's so expensive. It cost me 47 pesos a buck to drive 12 kilometers on this beautiful, absolutely fantastic highway. Toll road. They gave us the RFID sticker. They put it on my headlamp thing, because it's a different one than the one I have. The first toll road we had to hit was 8 pesos and then 47. That's one way to go to Santa Rosa S&R. Now, my wife complains that's too much money. It's too much money. Well, she doesn't fill the gas tank, and she doesn't drive, so she doesn't realize I'm probably going to use that 55 peso in gas more than likely, and the aggravation and the chances of getting in somebody running into you. We had a bike today that just the guy never looked. He just never looked, and I saw him jump on his bike, fired up, and I was already hitting the brake because I knew he was going to pull out, and he did. So it's just how it is here, guys. You gotta know that when you come here. Personally, myself, if I was to do it all over again, I probably still would get a car, but it would have been an old clunker. It wouldn't have been a nice new car because it sucks. My car's been smashed 3 times already. And that's just kind of aggravating. But it is what it is. It's the way it is here. But I do have to say about the new highways, I just love them. I love getting on the highway. Now tomorrow we're going to take the kids down so they can see the house with Grandma instead of leaving them at the house. So we're going to take the side roads so we can get down there without any trouble. My wife's worrying about the toll gates and stuff. So we're going to go get that taken care of. And we're looking forward for the kids seeing it. I'll bring the camera. Hopefully they got cabinets in, windows in, stuff like that. I'm hoping it's moving along because they told us this month there will be a turnover. They better get moving. If there's going to be a turnover, those guys need to get moving. We're going to move after the first of the month. I'm trying to pay my landlord. We're good till like the 20th. I want to pay him up until the first week of April because that's when we can get the truck. But something else you guys got to know when it comes to internet and the technology here. If you think you're going to come from the United States and have all the goodies like you have there, you can just forget it. There's many places the cell don't work. If you're here, your messenger will work. Even over at my house, my messenger will work. But if I want data, I have to go up by the cell tower. It just won't reach here. There's a cell tower over by the school where my daughter used to go. It doesn't work on smart. It's a cell tower, but they belong to that company, so they don't share. Which is, the U.S. they share cell towers. They don't here, so that's something you have to know also. But we've been going. My landlord. It's so frustrating to try to pay him. Going down to the bank, it doesn't work. Their systems are always down. Then we finally found 7-Eleven through Gcash. That's been down for a month or so. I was there again today trying to pay it. Then the girl said, "Oh, put it on your phone." Can't do that. Can't put it on my phone because it won't work. So the technology here won't work. So I actually had the girl in the store, the 7-Eleven manager, gave her my phone, gave her all the information. She put it in, and she said, "Well, you have to unload it, delete it, reload it." So I was in there. My wife was shopping at the market, getting the fruits and vegetables. So we were doing that. We did it 4 times, nothing. And so finally, she was just such a sweetheart. She let me. Okay, there's King of the Mountain. King of the Mountain. Put your hand up. Rah! Attaboy. They like to play in the rubble over here. There's the kids over there. I hope you can see it with the camera. But she was a sweetheart, and she let me pay it through her phone to pay the highway, the toll. We have a Star Tollway thing, and then we just got this new Tollway one with another RFID sticker. Hi, baby.
Hello. Which are out?
Not yet, silly. But the Gcash wouldn't work, so I couldn't pay the landlord. So it's just gonna be one of them deals. I don't like being late on any kind of payments. I don't want to do that. Here, and when we move down to Lipo, we have to show that we've paid our bills before we move because you're going from province to province. Well, the electric bill was never in my name. When we owned our first house, it was in the woman who passed away. It went to her sister, sold to our friends, and then we got it. And it was still in that first lady's name. We never changed it. They wanted us to pay this huge amount to change it. So I'm like, what for? But we paid that up. Now we pay everything is in the owner's name. So we'll just get a paper from him saying that, yeah, these guys are paid up with a copy of his driver's license. He gave me one of them before for our residency certificate we had to get. So that was cool. He's a pretty cool guy. And I'm glad we rented off just such a nice guy. He's been good as can be. So, but we'll be heading down there tomorrow. That's going to be a nice trip because the kids it'll be the first time they get to see the new house, and I'm going to be happy because we're going to be getting the extras done, and we're getting down to the nitty gritty on getting this thing paid for. Next month is going to be a stretch because we got to pay for the move. I went to the grocery store today, and I made sure I didn't buy a whole load of food. I got enough to get us by this month. And then what I did was I got the soaps and all that kind of stuff so that when we move to the new house, we've got a month's worth of stuff or so. We buy the pumper soap for bathing. One pumper soap lasts this family a month. I get some bar soap because Dorothy had that from having to wear the mask. She got a bad infection on her face. So I had to get, I got sulfur soap, which did the trick. We tried that antibacterial soap they sell here. They got a real good one. And that didn't work. So I was at the store and I saw the sulfur soap. And I went ahead and I got that and we washed her face. And I'm not kidding you, it cleared that up in no time. And I don't know, just from her breathing out with that mask, even though it was down here, it hit her all in here, just terrible rash and pimple. These people who say these masks work, have they ever really done studies on this stuff? I've never seen one. I'd love YouTube or Facebook or any of these guys that knock everyone down for even speaking of this stuff. It's think speech or something. I don't know what it is. I'd like them to show the results of all these tests that they actually work. Now they're saying you got to wear a couple. I just saw a thing on here on a post on Facebook from a friend we know. It was a reply to one of his friends, and since I'm on his, it showed up, and they're he's worried that they're going to do another big draconian lockdown here again. They didn't release us on March 1st, like should have been done. I know Cebu has, and I'm seeing all over in the States that they're getting rid of the mask mandates and all this stuff. But something you guys should think about. They're being so benevolent by stopping you. Texas guy said, okay, you don't have to wear the mask starting next week. Now, what's up with that? That's just ridiculous. It's so wonderful that he's going to be your pal and let you off now. Well, don't forget, guys, he's the one who put them on you in the first place with no justification for that they work. No thing that I've ever seen. Put it on a piece of paper. If it says, conclusively, 100%, this is going to save your bacon, why didn't you put it out there? Other than people just doing this with the Fauci guy and all this stuff. Now he's saying, where to? What is it? I saw a meme on there where one guy had like 50 of them on his face, But I also saw a guy up, I believe he was in Minnesota or Idaho somewhere, and he had one on and he went through all the different ones that you put on, and it showed all the moisture and steam coming out all around in the back of the head. So it reminds me of when they started the airbags. It didn't save any lives. It just killed different people, kids and little people, at first. But the mask now, instead of getting people infected from the front of you, it gets you from the back. So, that's just what it seems to me. But kids, we got home a little bit ago and put all the groceries away and all that stuff, so the kids wanted to come to the rock pile. And beautiful sun. I got a lot of sun yesterday, and we got a nice breezy day again today, but not too much else going on. When anybody wants to put anything on the comments of stuff you want me to talk about, I know some people said about the healthcare and stuff, and I gave them what I thought. One of the things, though, that you need to know when you come here, in case you don't got have a lot of cash, if you have a PhilHealth card, that'll get you in the door. That'll get you in the door and working on them, and you can talk to the doctors, and they'll work a deal with you. Okay, but know this: if you're an expat, I bought the PhilHealth for myself as an expat. And it was $17,000 a year, and plus $17,100, something like that. And it covers my wife and my 3 children. Okay, if we have to go in the hospital, and then we just pay it every month. Now, if you come here to the Philippines and your wife already has PhilHealth and you have a couple kids and you say, I don't need that $17,000 one. Yes, you do, because your wife and the kids are covered, but not you. You're not covered. We were at the main office down there and they spelled that out clear as day and even gave us paperwork on it. So know that, guys. You need to have that. Now there's health insurances. Anybody expats that are here have any information on health care plans that they're buying? It'd be nice to put it up so that subscribers can see that, because it seems like a lot of folks, when this breaks loose, are going to come. I've got a lot of my friends are actually going to come. 3 that'll be here as soon as this breaks loose, and looking forward to seeing them. And they're planning on spending the rest of their days. A lot of them. I know a couple guys that are also that I met through the YouTube and then Messenger and stuff. They're coming and they plan to do like 6 months. Another thing, just off the top of my head, if you do get any kind of a visa to stay here, you have to spend 6 months and a day here. Well, that's for sure on my visa, the 13A. If I go out of the country for more than 6 months, my visa's shot. I got to start over. Okay, so just know that. When I went into the States for the heart work, it was 5.5 months, and then I boogied back here. I waited until I was done with the blood thinners and all that, and the doctor, hey, can I get off of these now? And it's not like the old Coumadin and stuff. The stuff I was on, I was able to get off, and he just stopped taking them. He said, I keep taking them, but what I do is if this thing starts beating funny, it's not as bad as it used to be, but when it starts beating funny, I go ahead and I just chomp on an aspirin, is what I do. Hate to throw a clot, but you can step off the curb and get hit by a bus. Here, you can get hit by a jeepney through the front of your house. I mean, it's crazy what happens. We just saw. It was up on a big corner, and I had told my wife a long time ago, this is a very bad place. I hope they put a light in, which they finally put a light in, and they're figuring out how to do the timing of it now. There's some things going on, and a lot of people, there's 2 lights before you get to the main intersection. A lot of people, when the main intersection turns, they blast through the first intersection, and people making to the left, and I'm thinking it's going to be an accident, but so far it's been okay. But that intersection, a guy came down, it's a big hill coming from the left and coming up to before the light, and people were all around there, and he lost his brakes. And he was a fully loaded truck, so he had some super speed built up, and he hit a bunch of cars and a jeepney, and some folks got killed, and truck flipped over, and here's the thing, his brakes failed. Not his fault. He's in jail. Okay, you get in a bad accident here, you go to jail. You are guilty until proven innocent. So just know that when you get here. That's why I am so careful. I know when Tim was here, he said I drive very cautiously and very slow and all that. And yeah, that's the way I'm driving now, because they'll throw you in the pokey, guys. You'll be in there for a good while. I know of a friend that's been in there 3.5 years already, because the cases take forever here in the courts. If you got somebody that, let's say you're suing, they could just not show up 1 month, then it gets run over to the next month. And then they'll come, and then another month later they won't come. Happened to me. That guy didn't come like 5 or 6 times. He just didn't show. He didn't feel like it. And then also a lot of times when you get stuff like that, you're not going to get what you're actually owed. I have a fellow on here asked me if I ride a Harley. I have absolutely don't want anything to do with a Harley or a monstrously big bike here. I even looked at the Versa 650. It's nice and big. It fits me great. It's too big for here. If you want to drive around here on a motorcycle, get yourself a 125 or 150. One of the bikes they sell here. You'll be able to filter through the traffic easy. Everything's going to be nice. The only larger size bike I saw that was of any value to me would be the SV650. It's nice and narrow. That would be okay. At least you can get on the highway with that. But having a big hog here, useless, unless you're just planning on driving on the highway. But it's not that. To me, it's not that great. I mean, I used to love to drive through the different hills and up through the Poconos and stuff like that on the bike, and that was great. And I went down through the Smoky Mountains and drove through that. That was great. But here, you're going to get on a toll road. That's about it. If you want to go filtering through traffic, Harley Davidson ain't the bike for you, my friend. Not here. They have a Harley dealership here. I have yet to see a Harley driving on the road. I haven't seen it yet. Now, when I had my Buell Ulysses, I would have loved to have that here. That would have been cool. But I'd have reserved it for the highways and stuff like that. Not so much city. I'm planning on getting a couple bikes. I'm going to get that Yamaha 125 to put a tricycle on. Over here on the other side of the water tower, there's the daughter of the woman who lives there said get her mom's number for the tricycle because it's the exact tricycle I want, real high up the ground. So going to get that. And then I'm also probably going to get there's a CRF 150L. I kind of got my eye on because there's no radiator, there's no, and they're bulletproof. That looks like a good idea for me. We just actually saw a guy today. I was teasing my wife. I said, that's what I want. I saw him coming. I knew what it was. And we have 3 speed bumps in a row, and that guy never slowed down. We pulled over to let him through because it was real narrow. There was parked vehicles, and he just blasted right through there so that we could get going. And his seat just stayed nice and level. That's what you want here. My wife and I were joking about capitals of the world. I said there's a cap in the United States. They got capitals of this, capital of Christmas tree areas, Indiana, Pennsylvania, capital of this. Well, the capital of speed bumps is probably here in the Philippines, guys. They love their speed bumps. So I want a dirt bike. Now, I also did look at the XR 155R. It's got a radiator, but the suspension was much better. I won't have to spend a dime. It's $170,000, where it's $134,000 for the CRF, but I'm going to have to spend a bunch of money on the suspension on that, front and rear, because I had went all the way through the sag on that. I went through 65% of the suspension travel in the back on the CRF, where when I sat on the WR, that suspension was just fine. It's set up very nice. Didn't like the idea of a radiator, but I'm probably going to go that route. It has a little bit of adjustability, the suspension. I'm on I'm one of these big, loved my old Lincolns. I remember I used to have a road I used to go up the drive, and but he said, why don't you fix your road? It's so damn bumpy. And I'm, I never felt no bumps. He's driving a little puddle jumper. I'm driving a big old Lincoln. You don't feel the bumps. The tires just go boopity boopity boop, and you're floating on a cloud. That's what you need here. If you're getting to be retired, these scooters are kind of neat. A lot of guys buy Mios and they buy the Hondas and all that stuff, but the suspension just isn't there. There's not much travel. You're going to come almost to a dead stop to go over these speed bumps. So it's best to find some sort of a dirt bike if you got long enough legs, but they got lowering links for them. Like me, they're perfect for me height-wise. I can flat foot on the ground. My legs are almost straight. Perfect. Even when I got my weight on it, my knees are barely bent. I'm sitting high up in traffic. The only thing I was thinking of doing on that dirt bike is maybe, they got these this big counterweights on the end of the bars. I was thinking of taking those off, just to make it a little bit narrow. And then I always like to do mirrors. When I had a bike before, I had mirrors on my helmet. I had a mirror. I had a review helmet for a while, but those aren't so great. But I had mirrors on my helmet, so I just boom right here, and I could see around me. Plus, I could twist to see around me, and then just took the bike mirrors off. Hey, handsome.
Are we going to? You're gonna show us our new house tomorrow?
Yes, sir. Yay. Yeah, they're looking forward to it. He's filling his bottle with dirt. They like to fill the old pop bottles with dirt, and then they fling them up in the air and try to get them to land. So I don't want to make this one too long, guys, but we had a nice day. It was just, Grandma was there, kids were with her, and my wife and I got to do a little bit of shopping and had some time to ourselves. Even though it was shopping, it's still kind of nice. I went to the senior citizens line. So that was cool. I didn't have to wait because there was nobody in it. I went right up to it, the senior citizen line, and I guess because I have the white beard now, they never asked. Before I went up to it, I was 59, and they asked for ID, and they wouldn't let me go. But this time they didn't even ask. But it doesn't matter. I'm 60. We still have to get my senior card here. You get it at 60 here. It gives you discounts and all kinds of stuff. Even if you decide to ride jeepneys or buses, I pull out my card. I don't know yet if you pay for everybody. I know in the States, when your retirement If you go to a restaurant, you get the retiree to pay for everybody because he gets the discount, and then everybody can just pay him back, and it saves you a little, a few bucks. I don't know if that's the way it is here, but it might just be for the senior itself. That's what one of my neighbors had said, who's the senior. So we'll see. But I'm going to let you go. It's just absolutely a glorious day. I don't want to shine it too much into the sun. I don't know. I guess you could see the sun. And we're at our place over here. We were down there by the thing. The park was empty, but the kids were like, "Hey, we want to play here in the dirt." so okay. The guy wasn't there. My neighbor had gone down and talked to him. And I guess he knew who he was when I mentioned it to him. And he went down and talked to the guy, and the guy was like, "Oh, and he's like, well, you let your grandkids in there." And he says, "Oh yeah, but we don't want to hear of any Americans getting this and blah blah blah." And I guess he said, "Well, the kids are Filipino." And my kids are Filipino. They were born here. So that was real nice. My neighbor did that, and the old guy, I guess he's going to back down a little bit, which is cool. Okay, I'm fine with that now. Problem solved. I don't have to ever think about it again. But so we were going to go over there today, but they didn't want to go. So go fit kids in mud, kids in dirt. We'll have to take them home and get a bath because they're sweaty and the wind is blowing. I'm sweaty. I'm getting stuck with grit. So we're going to go. And are you going to say the magic words?
Rickshaw out. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys, don't forget to pray for each other. This rickshaw out. There you go. Say it again.
Rickshaw out.
My beautiful babies.